Selections from General Instructions for the Guidance of Post Office Inspectors in the Dominion of Canada. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Sarah Jennings. Selections from General Instructions for the Guidance of Post Office Inspectors in the Dominion of Canada by Alexander Campbell. Section 1. General Instructions. 1. You are required personally to superintend the performance of the routine work of your office and see that it is properly done. 2. This routine work should be suitably and fairly apportioned amongst your clerks, each clerk under your superintendence being responsible for the duty assigned to him. You will, after fair warning, report to the Postmaster General any clerk who fails correctly and efficiently to perform this duty. 3. Carefully superintend the working of the Department in all its branches within the limits of your division. As, however, it is important that the operations of the Department should be carried on under one uniform plan throughout the Dominion, do not make any alterations in the system of doing work without the permission first obtained of the Postmaster General. 4. Endeavour to instill into all persons connected with the Department in your division the importance of a harmonious working together for the good of the service, and of each in his own sphere, performing the duties assigned to him in an intelligent and thorough manner. 5. All letters received on official business should be carefully and promptly attended to. 6. All matters referred to you from the Department at Ottawa should be disposed of with the least possible delay. 7. Provision should be made for the performance of the ordinary routine work of your office when you are absent, under the superintendence of your senior clerk. 8. No portion of your work should be allowed to fall into arrear. If it should do so, however, from circumstances beyond your control, you will at once report the fact to the Postmaster General. 9. See that the time bills and mail transfer receipts are properly examined and filed away every day. A separate pigeonhole should be provided for each set of time bills and transfer receipts, the pigeonholes being arranged and labelled in alphabetical order. 10. When fines should, in your opinion, be imposed upon railway mail clerks, clerks in city offices, and other offices in the employ of the Department, full particulars of each case should be communicated to the Postmaster General, and his authority for the imposition of the fine obtained. 11. Make once in every 3 months a regular and thorough inspection of all the details of account and general business in each city post office in your division, without any prearranged date or notice of the time at which such inspection will be made. The inspection should, however, take place on the 1st of a month, so that the accountant may be able to verify from your report the entries in the accounts of the postmaster for the month preceding. In making these inspections, you must verify the stamp account of the office, personally count the stock on hand, and see that it agrees with the amount stated in the postmaster's stamp account, made up to the last day of the month, to which account you should attach your signature. Satisfy yourself that all other items of revenue, such as postage on unpaid matter, or insufficiently paid matter and on newspapers, also rent of boxes and drawers, etc., are duly brought to account. Certify to the number of both boxes and drawers rented at the time of your inspection. Investigate the state of the money order and savings bank business, and see that the regulations and instructions are closely adhered to. Enquire into the conduct and efficiency of each person employed. See that all work of the letter carrier's branch is promptly and accurately performed, that all the carriers are supplied with and wear uniforms, that an account is kept by the postmaster of the cost thereof, and that the outlay incurred does not exceed the amount allowed by the Postmaster General. Forward to the Postmaster General the results of your inspection as promptly as possible, giving clear and full information on the several points inquired into. 12. See that all errors and irregularities are reported to you by the postmaster or railway mail clerk by whom observed, and that prompt steps are taken for their correction. Irregularities of whatever kind should be promptly inquired into and corrected. If overlooked, they have always a tendency to increase. 13. Investigate thoroughly all cases of complaint. Obtain a clear statement of the charges made, and of the facts which can be proved in support of these charges, and from these facts draw your conclusion. In cases where the evidence is conflicting, the characters and antecedents of the parties concerned may probably be important elements for consideration. 14. In making investigations, bear in mind that any person who has been detected in one dishonest act may probably have been guilty of other dishonest acts, and that your inquiry should therefore cover not only the particular case under investigation, but other irregular or fraudulent proceedings which it is possible may have been committed by the party suspected. This point should be particularly remembered in regard to offices transacting money order and savings bank business. 15. You have authority for the purpose of any official inquiry or investigation it may be your duty to make, to apply to any judge of the Superior or Exchequer Court of Canada, or of the Superior Court of the Province of Quebec, or of any of the superior courts of either of the provinces, or to any judge or stipendiary magistrate in and for the territories, for an order that a subpoena may be issued from the court or magistrate, commanding any person therein named to appear before you at the time and place mentioned in the subpoena, and then and there to testify to all matters within his knowledge, and if so required to produce any document or thing he may have in his possession relative to such inquiry or investigation. And any witness may be summoned from any part of Canada, within or without the ordinary jurisdiction of the court, judge, or magistrate issuing the subpoena, any reasonable travelling expenses being tendered to any witness so subpoenaed at the time of such service, and any person thus summoned who may neglect or refuse to appear, or refuse to give evidence or to produce the papers demanded of him, may, by order of the court, judge, or magistrate who issued the subpoena, be taken into custody and imprisoned in the common jail of the locality, as for contempt of court, for a period not exceeding 14 days. 16. You have also authority to examine any person on oath or affirmation on any matter pertinent to any investigation you make, and such oath or affirmation may be administered by you to any person you may so desire to examine. 17. You and any officer under you having the rank of Assistant Post Office Inspector have authority to require any postmaster or assistant postmaster in any post offices, mail contractor, or other person in the employment or service of, or undertaking to perform any duty or work for the Post Office Department, to make and sign an oath or declaration in the following form, or to a like effect. I insert the name of the person and the capacity in which he is employed in or by the Post Office. Do solemnly and sincerely promise and swear, or declare, if the person is one entitled to declare instead of taking an oath in civil cases, that I will faithfully perform all the duties required of me by my employment in the service of the Post Office, and will abstain from everything forbidden by the laws for the establishment and government of the Post Office Department in Canada, so help me God. 18. When a formal investigation is necessary, always give due notice to the complainant or complainants, and the party or parties complained against, of the time and place at which the investigation will be held. 19. In your reports to the Postmaster General of the result of investigation, state whether the inquiry was made by personal or by correspondence. State also clearly in the proper order all the facts bearing on the case, and the conclusions which these facts appear to justify. 20. In reporting on cases of a confidential character, in which it is not desirable that the facts should be made public, mark the word confidential both on the report and on the cover in which it is transmitted. 21. In all reports in which a previous report is referred to, state in addition to the number and date of the report referred to, its general purport. 22. In all reports, post offices should be called by their official names, and not the name by which they may be known in the locality. This rule applies especially to the maritime provinces. 23. It is desirable that you should make yourself acquainted, as far as may be practicable, with the general character and financial standing of each postmaster in your division who has charge of money order or savings bank duties. And in any case where you have reason for suspecting the possibility of irregular practices, or a disposition to withhold, even for short periods, post office moneys, A confidential report should be made to the Postmaster General, in order that a close supervision may be kept by the Superintendent on the returns and remittances received from such postmasters. 24. In cases of doubt, always ask for instructions from the Postmaster General, by letter if time permits, if not by telegraph. 25. When absolutely necessary, make use of the telegraph, compressing your message into as few words as are consistent with clearness of meaning. Do not, however, use the telegraph in cases where a letter will answer all the purposes required. 26. Observe in all matters connected with the Department as strict an economy as is consistent with the efficient performance of the service. Do not in any case recommend additional expenditure unless the circumstances appear fully to justify it. 27. No outlay, whether for alteration in a mail service or for repairs, improvements, or fittings, must be incurred without the specific authority first obtained of the Postmaster General. In every case, application for this authority must be accompanied by a full description of the work to be done and an estimate of the probable expenditure involved. 28. No person must be employed, even in a temporary capacity, without the sanction of the Postmaster General previously obtained. 29. Furnish full particulars of any changes, especially of distribution, to the inspectors of other divisions which may be affected in any way by these changes, and cordially co-operate with them in the consideration and carrying out of any improvements which may generally benefit the service. 30. Make yourself thoroughly conversant with all acts of the Dominion Parliament relating in any way to the Post Office service, and with all regulations relating to the Post Office Department, as well as with all details connected with its operation. 31. You have authority, when you find it necessary, to suspend a postmaster, clerk, or any other employee in your division. All the circumstances, however, should at once be reported to the Postmaster General. 32. When it is noticed that postage stamps attached to letters or other postal matter frequently fall off, or if it should be found that the stamps are insufficiently gummed or badly perforated, the fact should be reported to the Postmaster General, the name of the office at which the posting took place being given. 33. In closing a post office, or in transferring a post office to a newly appointed postmaster, always see that the accounts are made up to the day of closing or transfer, and that the balance due thereon is paid and deposited in the bank to the credit of the Postmaster General. The assumption by an incoming postmaster of a balance due by his predecessor is objectionable. The amount due from the outgoing postmaster should in all cases be deposited as above, to the credit of the Postmaster General. 34. Except in very special cases, the opening and closing of offices should take effect on the first day of each month. 35. In the case of the transfer of a money order office, the transfer receipt should be sent to the Superintendent of the Money Order Branch at Ottawa by the first mail after the transfer takes effect. 36. Immoral publications and other articles, the transmission of which through the mail are prohibited, and which are sent to you by the railway mail clerks in your division, should be at once forwarded to the Postmaster General. 37. All forms, books, stationery, etc., required for your office must be applied for by requisition to the Postmaster General in accordance with the instructions contained in the catalogue of articles in stock in the Printing and Supply branch of the Department, a copy of which has been furnished to you. 38. If any of the regulations laid down in these instructions cannot be carried out in your division, you will make a confidential report to the Postmaster General, stating the reasons why this cannot be done. Section 2. Arrangement of papers. 1. All papers and correspondence referring to the same case should be kept together. 2. No letters or papers should be put away until the matter to which they refer is fully disposed of. 3. Separate pigeonholes should be provided for all papers and letters according to their classification, so that when required they can be readily found. 4. The following classification is recommended. For papers not finally disposed of. 1. Papers in reference to applications for new post offices. 2. Papers in reference to postmasters' bonds for execution. 3. Papers in reference to applications for alterations in mail routes. 4. Papers in reference to railway mail service. 5. Papers in reference to advertisement of mail contracts. 6. Papers in reference to execution of mail contracts. 7. Papers in reference to arrears due from postmasters and ex-postmasters. 8. Papers in reference to cases of supposed loss of or abstractions from letters. 9. Papers in reference to distribution. 10. Papers in reference to matters requiring personal inquiry. 11. Letters from Secretary awaiting answers. 12. Letters from postmasters, contractors, and the public awaiting answers. For papers finally disposed of. 1. Mail contracts in force, alphabetically arranged. 2. Mail contracts terminated, alphabetically arranged. 3. Postmasters' bonds in force, alphabetically arranged. 4. Postmasters' bonds terminated, alphabetically arranged. 5. Letters from Secretary arranged according to number. 6. Letters from Post Office Department not numbered. 7. Letters from Post Office Inspectors. 8. Letters from postmasters, contractors, and the public alphabetically arranged, there being a separate pigeonhole for each letter of the alphabet. 9. Papers in reference to cases of actual losses of or abstractions from letters. 10. Papers in reference to cases of supposed loss of or abstractions in which the inquiry instituted shows that no actual loss or abstraction occurred. 11. Papers in reference to accounts included in monthly requisitions. 12. Papers in reference to arrears due from postmasters. 13. Papers in reference to railway mail service. 14. Papers in reference to distribution. Section 3. Books and Records. 1. The books to be kept are as follows. 1. Book for press copies of reports to the Postmaster General. 2. Book for press copies of such other letters, etc., as it may be necessary to copy. 3. Record of letters and references from the Secretary. 4. Record of applications for lost letters, etc. 5. Record of actual losses of letters and abstractions of articles of value from letters. 6. Journal of travel and proceedings. Forms bound up. 7. Conduct Return Book. Press copies. 8. Order Book for instructions to railway mail clerks, in which should be entered the address of each clerk. 9. Book for recording number of miles travelled by railway mail clerks. 10. Record of errors made by railway mail clerks, as shown by labels on packages which they have made up, and which should be forwarded to you by the mail clerks or postmasters by whom opened, as also of other errors made by the railway mail clerks reported to you. 11. Record of mail contracts. 12. Record of postmasters' bonds. 13. Record of dates of expiration of contract. 14. Variation of expenditure book. 15. Record of transfer of offices. 16. Salary pay list book. 17. Contractor's pay book. 18. Book for the record of requisitions to the Postmaster General for payment of travelling charges and all other official expenses, with the exception of salaries and mail services. 19. Arrears book. 20. Register of employees attached to your office, including railway mail clerks in your division or under your superintendence. In the book a page should be devoted to each employee, in which should be recorded name, date and place of birth, religion, class, salary, date of promotion, increase of salary, transfer, suspension, cases in which the employee has received special commendation or censure, date of resignation or removal, or any other particular of which it is desirable a memorandum should be kept. 21. cash book for entry of all monies received on a P.O. account, with manner of disposal thereof. 22. Money order check book. 23. Passbook in which to record all registered letters dispatched. 24. Order book with margin to be used in all cases when an order is given for any article required for official use. 25. Telegraph books with margin, on which should be recorded copies of all telegraphs sent on official business. 26. Corresponding offices book, showing name of office with which each office in your division exchanges direct mails. 27. Book for recording changes in distribution. 28. Book for daily entry of time bills on ordinary mail routes. 29. Record of new offices established, of old offices closed, and changes in names of offices. 30. Book for requisitions for printing and stationery, blank forms bound up. 31. Guard book for copies of notices inviting tenders for contracts. 32. Guard book for department orders and circulars. 33. Guard book for time bills of railways, etc. 2. It is very necessary that entries of all transactions should be promptly made in the books provided for their record. The keeping of memoranda on pieces of paper, or trusting to memory in such matters, is very objectionable. 3. All printing and binding required both by your own office and city, or other offices, must be done on requisition to the department at Ottawa. 4. Further, all stationery required, both by your own city or other offices, must be obtained by requisition in the proper form to the Postmaster General, the number of the articles, as shown by the official catalogue, being in all cases given. Section 6. New Post Offices. 1. In each report on an application for a new post office, describe the locality in which it is proposed to establish the new office, giving name of the township, number of lot and concession stating whether front or rear of the concession, and county in which situated. In places where land is not so divided, give such particulars as may serve to indicate the exact position. State further the number of churches, schools, mills, stores, houses, or other buildings in the immediate neighbourhood, the character of the surrounding land, whether well settled, and the estimated number of families that the office applied for would accommodate, its distance from all neighbouring offices, its estimated postal revenue, the mode and frequency of the service proposed, the estimated annual cost, whether any previous application for a post office in the same locality has already been reported on, and such other information as may bear on the matter. 2. With each report on an application for a new post office should be sent a sketch or tracing from the map of your division, showing as nearly as can be ascertained the position of the proposed office and mail route, and the offices and mail routes already in operation in its neighbourhood. Section 7. Mail Arrangements. 1. The principal object of all mail arrangements is to ensure the transit of the letters and papers to destination with the utmost possible dispatch. 2. The main routes throughout the provinces should connect with each other as closely as it is possible. 3. The branch routes should be so arranged as to form as close a connection as possible with the main lines. 4. Through bags should be exchanged by all offices between which pass a large number of letters and papers, including travelling post offices on different routes. 5. As a general rule, an office has a large number of registered letters for another office with which it does not exchange a direct mail. The registered letters may be enclosed in a sealed registered packet, addressed to the office for which the letters are intended. The address of the packet, however, should in all cases be entered in the letter bill with which it is dispatched. When a packet is sent as above, it should be accompanied by a letter bill containing at foot an acknowledgment for registered letters. This acknowledgment should be filled up by the receiving office and returned to the dispatching office by the first post. 6. Where large numbers of registered letters pass between two offices, It is desirable that bags secured with the lead seal should be used. 7. An inspector should always be on the watch to ascertain what improvements can be made in the postal arrangements in his division. It should be his aim to anticipate the wants of the general public, and to combine, as far as practicable, efficiency of service with economy of expenditure. Section 8. Mail Service. 1. It is very essential that a strict supervision should be maintained over the performance of the mail service, that all delays and irregularities should be promptly checked, and when necessary fines imposed and enforced. 2. On all the important routes there should be suitable time bills, in which should be entered the hours of arrival and departure at each office, the names of the couriers, and the number of the mails received and delivered. 3. These time bills should be carefully checked and filed away, the check clerk affixing his initials to each bill. 4. You should be ready at all times to receive suggestions for improvements in the mail service, and if desirable submit them for the consideration of the Postmaster General. 5. Leather bags should as a general rule be used on stage routes. On the outlying routes, where the mails are exposed to the weather, waterproof canvas bags should be used. Section 9. Establishment of new routes or alterations in routes already in operation. 1. In making reports on proposed new mail routes or alterations of existing routes, state clearly advantages to be obtained, additional cost per annum to be incurred, present revenue of the offices to be served, increased revenue which it is estimated would result from proposed additional mail facilities. Give tables also of the present and proposed routes, showing offices served and intermediate distances. State also dates on which contracts which it is proposed to discontinue would terminate, provided previous notice were not given by the Postmaster General. 2. With each report send a sketch or tracing from the Post Office map of your division, showing all the offices affected by the proposed arrangements, denoting the lines of existing routes which it is recommended should be discontinued in blue, and the new routes which it is recommended should be established in red. 3. All changes in mail service should, except in very special cases, take effect on the first day of each month. Section 12. Railway Mail Service. 1. This is a very important branch of the postal service, and will require your constant supervision. 2. A distribution book should be supplied the mail clerks on each road, which book should be corrected at least once in each month, or oftener should circumstances render it necessary. 3. Each mail clerk in your division should be examined frequently with the object of ascertaining if he has a proper knowledge of the distribution and of the changes which have taken place in the distribution on the railway on which he is employed. 4. On every railway route there should be a time bill which should pass from one end of the line to the other, and in which should be entered the particulars of all bags received and delivered by the mail clerks. 5. You are not authorized to issue passes for travelling in a postal car, except to a railway mail clerk actually going on duty. 6. No person, excepting railway mail clerks on duty, the conductor of the train in the ordinary course of his duty, and the post office inspectors, should be allowed access to the postal cars whilst en route with the mails. 7. You should make yourself acquainted with the conduct of the railway mail clerks when off as well as on duty, and report to the Postmaster General any railway mail clerk who, to your knowledge, is at any time under the influence of liquor or otherwise misconducting himself. 8. Compensation is made to railway companies for mail service performed in a postal car, at the rate of 6 cents per mile actually travelled by mixed trains, and 8 cents per mile for quick passenger trains. Compensation is also made for the conveyance of bags in charge of the company's servants, at the rate of from 2 to 4 cents per mile actually travelled by the trains performing such service. 9. When service by postal cars is necessary, the companies are bound to furnish travelling post offices suitably fitted up, and to see that they are properly heated, lighted, and cleaned, and supplied with water. 10. All plans for the fitting up of these travelling post offices should, previous to being carried out, be submitted for the approval of the Postmaster General. 11. No promise of remuneration for services performed in connection with the postal service should be made to any person in the employ of a railway company. For all such services, compensation is made to the company in the regular allowance paid to them. 12. Canvas bags, as a general rule, should be used for the railway mail service. The necessary supplies will be furnished on application to the Postmaster General. Section 14. Travelling. 1. Visit and inspect each money order and savings bank office in your division, and make a report thereon to the Postmaster General on the printed forms, as often as occasion serves, but at least once every year. 2. Visit and inspect every other office in your division as often as circumstances permit. 3. Do not, unless with good and sufficient reason, pass a post office without calling and inspecting it. 4. Keep before you a memorandum of cases requiring personal investigation, so that in travelling you may be able to attend to as many of these cases as may be in the direction of your journey. 5. In travelling, ascertain, as far as you are able, if the service on the several routes over which you pass is in every respect satisfactorily performed, and make memoranda in your pocket memorandum book of any irregularities which you may observe, or of any changes which you think desirable. 6. Note and take down particulars of any locality at which it is likely a post office may be required, so that when applied for you may be able to report thereon. 7. In visiting a post office, the following points should engage your attention. 1. Is the office provided with a sign, a letter box, pigeonholes for letters and papers for delivery and dispatch, other necessary fittings, forms and other necessary equipment? 2. Is it conveniently situated and provided with proper accommodation for the public? 3. Are the postmaster and his assistants duly sworn, and do they understand their duties? 4. Has the postmaster proper stamps and material for postmarking letters, etc., and obliterating the stamps thereon? 5. Are the letter bills properly postmarked and filed? 6. Are the registered letters and mail key kept in a safe place? 7. Are the letters and papers for delivery properly postmarked? Are they all intended for the delivery of the office? Are they sorted into the proper boxes? Are there any which should have been sent to the dead letter office? 8. Are the newspapers for delivery all sorted in their proper pigeonholes? 9. Are all letters and papers posted for dispatch as well as for delivery at the office properly prepaid by stamp? 10. Are the entries in the book of mails sent and received, and the registered letter books properly made? 11. Are the instructions and circulars received from the department properly filed? 12. Are the notices sent for exhibition to the public properly posted? 13. Is there a notice posted in the lobby indicating the office hours and the times at which mails are closed and received? 14. Is the postmaster supplied with postage stamps sufficient to meet the requirements of the public? 15. Are the mails regularly received and dispatched, and the provisions of the contracts under which the office is supplied properly carried out? 8. In the event of the office being a money order office, ascertain 1. If the entries in all the books are properly made. 2. Whether the cash book at offices where a cash book is kept is made up to date, and whether the date of the deposit receipts agree with the date for which the credit is taken therefor. 3. Whether the postmaster has in hand the balance due on money order account. 4. Whether all the numbers of the money orders taken from the order book are properly accounted for. 9. You should take every opportunity of ascertaining and noting down the character and standing of the several parties employed in the postal service. The information thus obtained may be of value. 10. You should also take every opportunity of collecting accurate information in regard to the settlement of the country, the position of the post offices, roads and distances, and with this object you should carry a map of the section of country through which you pass, and mark thereon as much as you can of the above information. Section 17. Conclusion. It is very important that each Inspector should make himself thoroughly conversant with the foregoing regulations, and it will be the duty of the Chief Inspector, when visiting the several divisions, to ascertain whether these regulations are properly observed, and to report to the Postmaster General such deviations as may come under his notice. Alexander Campbell, Postmaster General, Ottawa, 1st August, 1879. End of selections from General Instructions for the Guidance of Post Office Inspectors in the Dominion of Canada, by Alexander Campbell.